Perplexity Computer update, automate, and build anything. You are wasting hours doing things AI can now do for you, jumping between 5 different tools just to finish one task, manually babysitting every single step of a workflow. This is the old way of working with AI, and there is a new way that just dropped. Hey, I'm Julian, welcome back. Today we're talking about Perplexity Computer. This launched on February 25th, 2026, and it is one of the most interesting things I have seen drop in a while. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is, how it works, and whether it is worth your time right now. Let's get into it. What is Perplexity Computer? If you have used Perplexity before, you know it as a search tool. You ask a question, it gives you an answer with sources. Computer is something completely different. Perplexity calls it a general purpose digital worker. This is not a chatbot. This is an agent that takes a big complex goal, breaks it into tasks and subtasks, spins up subagents to handle each piece and executes the whole thing while you go do something else. You tell it the outcome you want, it builds the plan, it assigns each piece to the right AI model, it runs the work, and it delivers a finished result. That is a completely different way of working with AI. Perplexity CEO Aravind Srinivas put it simply, chat interfaces have answers, agents can do tasks. Computer is built to do tasks, long ones, complex ones, tasks that can run for hours or even months. The 19 model stack here is what makes this different from anything else out there. Perplexity Computer orchestrates 19 different AI models and automatically routes each part of your task to the right one. At the core, it uses Claude Opus 4.6 for the main reasoning and planning. Then, depending on the subtask, it calls on specialists, Gemini for deep research, Nano Banana, Google's image model for visuals, VO 3.1 for video, Grok for fast, lightweight tasks, and GPT 5.2 for long context recall and broad search. Perplexity looked at their own enterprise data and found that in January 2025, over 90% of enterprise tasks were handled by just 2 models. By December 2025, no single model handled more than 25%. Why? Because models are specializing. A system that routes to the right model for each job will outperform one that forces everything through a single model. That is the whole bet here. And because Perplexity's orchestration layer sits above all these models, when a better model releases, they can swap it in. The model is a tool. The orchestration is the product, how it actually works. Let's make this concrete. You open Perplexity Computer and describe an outcome, not a prompt. An outcome. Something like, build me a web app that shows live weather conditions for ski resorts. Or run a full competitive analysis on my industry and deliver it as a finished website. Computer breaks that goal into a structured plan, creates subtasks, assigns each one to the right model. Multiple subtasks can run in parallel, which is where you save serious time. Everything runs inside an isolated cloud environment with access to a real file system, a real browser, and real tool integrations. Sandboxed, so there is no risk of it doing something unexpected on your actual devices. Zero local setup, no terminals, no API keys, no configuration. Before committing to anything irreversible, like publishing a website or sending an email, it pauses and asks you to review first. You stay in control of what actually matters. Speaking of figuring out what is actually worth your time, when I first started building AI workflows, I spent a lot of time on the wrong things. That is when I found AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 members all sharing what actually works in practice. Real use cases, not theory. If you are serious about implementing AI tools properly, the link is in the description. What you can build and automate here is what Computer is useful for right now. Research workflows, set up monitoring tasks that run on a schedule, check for new information, and report back only when something worth knowing changes. Set it up once, it runs in the background, building things, websites, data visualization tools, prototype apps. You describe it, it writes the code, handles the structure, and delivers something you can actually use. Multi-step document work. One agent writes a report while a separate sub-agent gathers the data it needs. Perplexity says they ran thousands of internal tasks using Computer before the public launch, from building apps to publishing web copy. In terms of connectors, it integrates with Gmail, Google Drive, Slack, HubSpot, Ahrefs, Reddit, and more, with over 400 app integrations total. That means real actions in real tools, not just text you copy and paste somewhere. Perplexity Computer versus open source agents. Some of you are thinking about OpenClaw or other local agents. Here is the key difference. OpenClaw runs on your machine with broad access to your files and settings, powerful but risky. A Meta AI security researcher publicly described an incident where OpenClaw started a process that nearly wiped her inbox because the agent misinterpreted instructions. Computer runs in the cloud in a sandboxed environment. Any mistake is fenced off from your primary data, configurable permissions, human approval, gates on high-risk actions. Srinivas made the point that with OpenClaw, it took their own engineers a long time to set up. With Computer, anyone can open the app, describe what they want, and the system handles the rest. The trade-off is less raw control than a locally installed open source tool. But for most people and businesses, the security and zero setup experience is a much better fit. How to access it. Perplexity Computer is available now to Perplexity Max subscribers. Max costs $200 per month or $2,000 per year. A broader rollout to Pro and Enterprise users is planned, so that may have expanded by the time you are watching this. Whether $200 per month is worth it comes down to one question. Does the time this saves you justify the cost? For power users, researchers, developers, and teams handling complex workflows, the math might work out. For casual users, it is probably overkill right now. You can access it through Perplexity's web app, iOS, Android, Mac, and Windows. The bigger picture. Perplexity started as a search tool, then built a browser. Now they have an agent layer sitting above all the frontier models and orchestrating them. Their argument is that the company that wins is not the one with the best single model, it is the one with the best orchestration on top. Right? They grew users 3.7 times in 2025 and revenue 4.7 times in the same period. Revenue growing faster than users means the product is getting more valuable to the people using it. And Perplexity's CEO said he received congratulations from teams at both Anthropic and Google when Computer launched, because when orchestration improves, it drives more usage of all the underlying models. The future of working with AI is not you manually prompting one model at a time, it is you describing what you want and a system handling the rest. If you want to stay ahead of how these tools actually work in practice, I recommend AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 people learning how to use AI effectively. Everyone shares real experiences, what is working, what is not, which tools are worth your time, no hype, just solid practical guidance from people doing the work. Link in description. And if you want the full process, SOPs, and over 100 AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. Links in the comments and description. You will get all the video notes plus access to our community of 46,000 members who are getting serious results with AI. If this added value, hit like, subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you in the next one.